Hey gang, I'm Will.
And I'm Ryan, and today we're looking at Banner Saga Warbands in our Terrible 2
Minute Review. The Banner Saga Warbands is a 2 to 4 player cooperative game from MegaCon Games. It emulates the very successful Banner Saga video game, which I think is on its third successful installment on Kickstarter.
I've already played the first two, and they're amazing. In Banner Saga, it's mythos. The sun has stopped, the world is coming to an end, and you must lead a caravan of men and giant-like Varl on their quest for survival.
At the very beginning of the game, players select from one of 4 caravan leaders to be their characters through the game.
The quartermaster maintains the caravan supplies, the keeper of names keeps track of the population and fighting units, the war master keeps track of the clan's fighting strength, and the thane is kind of like the overall leader, and he can modify the 3 other roles.
After setting up the game, picking your character, organizing your cards and tokens, then players resolve one of the 10 mission cards. Each mission card shows what season the external event deck starts with, the scenario objective, how to determine starting troops, supplies, and followers, as well as a bonus that is achieved if the caravan meets a specific condition.
The game rounds consist of 5 phases. Each round after the first begins with the Move the Warband phase. You move the Warband token to the next destination, according to the mission card, and then the quartermaster has to pay 1 supply, or additional supplies if they have to move through a difficult travel region.
During the Resolve an Event phase, players draw either an internal or external event based on what color space they landed on, and they resolve that card. Each event card presents a choice that members of the warband will have to vote on with varying outcomes. These may grant bonuses, drain resources, or initiate skirmishes depending on how the vote fell.
The biggest event result is probably the skirmish, because you pull out this skirmish event board and resolve a little battle based on what skirmish event card you drew.
And that puzzle kind of resembles the video game from what I understand.
Just a little bit.
And then if they get to the city action, players take the action that is on their card for the city if they're on that city space.
And then every 3 times the warband moves, they go into a camp action phase. They draw and resolve a camp event card. The seasons of the external event deck changes. They get to take their camp action phase, draw renown based on different things on their roll, and then the quartermaster has to pay supplies to feed the warband's troops.
And then at the end of the mission, once players reach that location objective, they check the victory conditions during the victory phase, and if they've met them all, then they win the game. Tell us about the mechanic.
Well, my biggest complaint is that I didn't feel prepared after reading the instruction manual for my first playthrough. I just didn't understand the significance of all that was going on, because it's kind of complicated. I think that the 2-sided cards add an interesting element to the game. It makes it all more compact because there's information that goes together on both sides of the card, but it adds a level of inconvenience as you try to set up the roll, because you're flipping back and forth and some of the things have to go on top. And then also just drawing cards, it makes it more complicated because you have to hide all the cards with this hider card of your draw pile. So I don't know if I like the 2-sided cards. Also, the skirmishes are more of a logic puzzle than an actual battle, so your mileage may vary. Theme.
So I think the theme for this game was what obviously drew me into it. Like, it's really, really gorgeous. It's based on a very beautiful and well put together video game. The artwork kind of reminds me of maybe like Disney's Sword in the Stone or something. Yeah. The nostalgia value in that is just really gorgeous. The only thing that I don't think really translated well into the game is that banner is such a huge visual part of the video game. And in the board game, I didn't really feel like it was there. Not that that's super important. I think the artwork is really great on the board. The components are really nice. Ryan managed to pick up an add-on, so he's got some really cool figures, some minis that go with it, which are really nice. Even some of the storyline elements, though, that went with the banner before, I felt like were missing just a little bit.
Yeah.
Overall, it looks nice. It lays out on the table beautifully. All the cards look really, really sharp. I think if you are not familiar with the video game, it has less effect then, because you're not expecting anything. Standalone as a board game is really sharp looking. Replayability.
Because at some point this is a choose your own adventure and things are kind of set in stone, you will learn how different decisions play out and what the better choice is on these cards that you're drawing. Even with the skirmishes, eventually you'll learn the best placement you can do for your people, because the enemies will always end up in the same spots and will always follow the same rules for how they deploy and attack. So at some point it is solvable, but because there are so many decisions, it will take you quite some time to explore all that this game has to offer. Enjoyability.
So let me start by saying that I did enjoy the game. I had a good time playing it. I do kind of feel like this is the type of game that you're either going to love or you're going to hate. And unfortunately, I don't have a really good recommendation to tell you what type of person will. In the video game, there's a very consistent feel to it, and like the mechanics and the play to it. If you like the video game, I can't guarantee that you'll like the board game. It is very different from that. If you're a board game enjoyer, is that a thing? I think it's got some interesting stuff going on, and you may like it. If you like it because of the way it looks, that's cool. Unless you know exactly what the game is, you're going to get a different experience. I don't know. It's hard to explain that. I did enjoy moving around the board, looking at all the pieces, making the decisions. We didn't mention this. We said it was a 2 to 4 player. Technically, you can play it as a 1-player game, and you can go through and figure out all those puzzles yourself. And so that might up it if you're looking for a 1-player game. There's some enjoyment there. I think I would have more fun the more players that played it. Yeah, I think you just gotta have to try it and take a look for yourself. If what we showed you looks interesting, give it a shot and find out for yourself. Tantrum gives Banner Saga Warbands 2 thumbs up. The Banner Saga The Banner Saga War Games is a 2 to 4 player
War Games. You said it again.
Warbands. So hard to read one word.